Hello learners. In this video, you will be introduced to computer basics. We will be covering four important aspects. Over the last 2 decades, computers and other computing devices have changed the way we work, communicate, and learn. It is therefore important to know what is a computer and how it works. A computer is an electronic device that stores, processes, and retrieves data. The term computer was first used for humans performing numerical calculations using mechanical devices such as abacus and slide rule. We now use computers for our day-to-day work, for creating word processing documents, presentations, spreadsheets, accounting, database management, office automation, and more. Computers are used for recording, analyzing, sorting, summarizing, calculating, and storing data. Computers are powerful devices that can perform calculations of large amount of data within microseconds, nanoseconds, or even picoseconds, depending on the power of the computer. It can do millions of calculations within seconds, which may take months for humans to do. Computers can perform all activities within 100% accuracy if the inputs provided are correct. Otherwise, garbage in will be garbage out. Computers can store large amount of data in different formats such as text, graphics, audio, video, animation, simulation, etc. Computers are great help to use as it can perform monotonous, repeatable work without any error and save our time. For libraries, it is a great boon as it can automate many of the library functions and cut down time of doing it manually. These are the major advantages of computers, but they also have some limitations. Computers have to be instructed to do a job as it has no intelligence and cannot take any decisions on its own. This means that computers are dependent on human beings. You must be wondering what makes computers such an incredibly perfect and powerful machine. Computer is nothing but a programmable machine that responds to instructions to store, retrieve, and process data with high speed and accuracy. It is an electronic device that manipulates information or data through programming. A computer has 4 functions to perform. Input data, that is, data is fed in through some input device like a keyboard. Stored data, data and instructions are saved so as to process the data. Process data, it performs some arithmetic and logical functions to convert the raw data into some meaningful information. Produce output. After processing the data, you get the output in the form of meaningful information as desired. It can be just a text report or a graphical representation. The main characteristics of a computer are speed, accuracy, automation, storage, endurance, and versatility. Computers of all types and makes essentially comprise 2 basic parts: hardware and software. Hardware is any part of your computer that has a physical structure. Software is any set of instructions that tells the hardware what to do. Now let us see how a computer works. In the first step, data gets fed in the computer through some input device. The data is then stored in some memory device for use in future. Next step is the data stored in the memory device is recalled through some software and processes the data as per the software instructions. Data process then generates an output in some meaningful way as desired as information. It can be just a text file, a graphic, or a multimedia component. The output could be in soft copy form available on an output device such as the computer monitor or it could be printed as a hard copy using a printer. So computers have four major functionality: input data, store data, process data, and generate output. Different components of the computer controls all these four functionalities. Now let us see the role of different computer components which carry out these four major functions. Input unit contains devices which helps in entering the data in the computer. It is an interface between the user and the computer that translates the data in meaningful form which is fed by the user. Central Processing Unit, that is CPU in short, is known as the brain of the computer which performs all kinds of data processing activities such as storing data, intermediate results and instructions, and controlling the operations of all components of the computer. CPU has three components: arithmetic and logic unit, memory unit, and control unit. Output unit comprises devices which provide us output in the form of information in some meaningful format. Now let us see how computers evolved over the years. The first generation of computers were available during 1946 to 1959. The computers used vacuum tube based technology for memory and circuit of the central processing unit. The vacuum tubes produced a lot of heat and would fuse frequently. As a result, the maintenance cost was very high and only large organizations could afford to have them. The first generation computers used punch cards, paper tapes, and magnetic tapes as input-output devices. Batch processing operating systems was used for data processing, and machine codes were used as programming language. The second generation computers were available from 1959 to 1965. In this generation, transistors were used for the memory and the CPU, which were much cheaper compared to the vacuum tubes. This consumed less power and were compact in size. The processing was much reliable and faster compared to the first generation computers. Magnetic code was used as primary memory, and magnetic tapes and disks were used as secondary memory devices. Assembly language and high-level programming languages like Fortran and COBOL were used, and with batch processing and multi-programming operating systems. Third generation computers were available between 1965 to 1971, in which integrated circuits replaced the transistors. This further reduced the size of computers and were more efficient in functioning. Third generation saw the advent of remote processing, time sharing, multi-programming operating systems with the use of high-level languages Fortran 2 to 4, COBOL, Pascal, PL1, Basic Algol 68, etc. Fourth generation came into being during 1971 to 1980, which used very large-scale integrated circuits, in short VLSI, having about 5,000 transistors and other circuit elements with their associated circuits on a single chip. This saw the advent of microcomputers, which were more powerful, compact, and affordable. This resulted into personal computers revolution. All the high-level languages like C, C++, DBase, etc. were used with the time-sharing, real-time networks, distributed operating systems. Fifth generation is what we have today. It started in 1980s, where we saw shift from VLSI technology to ULSI technology, that is ultra large scale integrated technology. As a result, we now have microprocessor chips having 10 million electronic components. This generation is based on parallel processing hardware and artificial intelligence software, which makes computers think like human beings. All the high level languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, etc. started to be used in this generation. Fifth generation also saw advent of different types of computers such as desktops, laptops, notebooks, ultrabooks, etc. Now let us talk about different types of computers that are being used nowadays. To start with, let us talk about personal computers. Generally, these are low cost, designed for an individual user for word processing, presentation, spreadsheet, and database management applications at home. It is also used for playing games or surfing the internet. Workstations, the second type, are used for high end applications such as graphic designing, multimedia, desktop publishing, or software development. Generally, these systems come with high resolution display and mass storage facility. Then, mini computers. These are mid-sized multi-processing system capable of supporting up to 250 users simultaneously. The fourth type, that is mainframe, are very large in size and is an expensive computer capable of supporting hundreds or even thousands of users simultaneously. Mainframe executes many programs concurrently and supports many simultaneous execution of programs. Fifth type is supercomputer. Supercomputers are very expensive and are employed for specialized applications requiring immense amount of mathematical calculations. Supercomputers are one of these fastest computers currently available and are used for weather forecasting, scientific simulations, nuclear energy research, etc. Now, coming to personal computers can be further classified into desktops, which is meant to stay at one location. It has a display unit, a vertical or horizontal tower containing the CPU, memory, and storage devices, and input devices like keyboard and mouse attached to it. Nowadays, all in one desktops are available where the tower is merged with the display unit. Laptops are portable computers, more efficient and nearly as powerful as a desktop. They can run on AC power or batteries. No external connections are required for standard usage of the laptop. If need be, you can attach other external devices. Netbook is a term coined by Intel that describes a portable computer about half of the size of a traditional laptop. Hybrid computers refers to two-in-one PCs that comprise a screen, a detachable keyboard, combining the functionality of a laptop and a tablet. These have the power of a computer, and when the keyboard is detached, the portability of a tablet. Microsoft Surface is a good example of hybrid computers. Tablet PC is a mobile computing device that let you do many of the same things as a traditional computer. They are best suited for applications that do not require a large amount of precise user input. So now let us summarize what you learned in this tutorial. We covered what a computer is, how it functions, and what are the different generations of computers that evolved over the years. And finally, we talked about different types of computers. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you.